We are back here, Generation Next 2.0. Bigger, better, badder, certainly bigger. We got a lot of guys to run through, a lot of big time commits to talk about. We're bringing back one of our favorites from signing week here. It's CAM LEITer, Central Regional, our new favorite school down the Shore Conference.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for coming on today again, Cam, and welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, let's I did want to talk a little bit more about a few things, just kind of get you back here. But what was it really like growing up in Western Canada when you were a kid?
Yeah. First word that comes to mind is probably rain. It definitely rains a lot. That's the biggest difference. Rains probably every day of the week. Maybe you'll get lucky, you'll get one day that's cloudy.
So it's pretty much the weather that we associate with Seattle, right? Just over the border.
Same exact. Yeah, I was about 45 minutes out from Seattle. So same weather, same everything there. But it was awesome. Obviously, Canadian people, the stereotype is they're great people, and it's true. So that side, the community aspect, it was awesome. But me also growing up playing hockey, that kind of took the main focus of my attention. I was playing, 7 days a week for most of the months out of the year. Baseball was kind of just a side thing that my dad would, not push me to do, but that was just kind of the summer thing, a little bit of the spring, and then jump back into hockey because I would play, fall and winter would be hockey, and then I'd also play spring hockey. So that'd probably be the biggest difference. I stopped playing after my 8th grade year. While I was still in Canada, I stopped playing. But growing up, it was more hockey. I was just playing hockey the whole time, and then joined the Langley Blaze 8th grade year, or going into my 8th grade year, and that's really what made me, I think, fall in love with baseball. Is that they do a great job at kind of pushing more of like a professional aspect of the game. They have a great, awesome field there. And, they push a lot of prospects out. Tyler O'Neill, Gold Glover up in the big leagues, is their main guy right now, but they have a lot of studs out of that program. And they just do a great job at making it really a pro feel to it. So, yeah.
So how close were we really to the first Leiter hockey star versus baseball? I mean, you played it a lot when you were a kid, but were we? How good were you? And you can brag a little bit if necessary. We're certainly not going to fact check it. You could tell me you were the next Gretzky or whatever. But how close were we to your story being a hockey story?
Yeah, it was pretty close. I mean, I was really good. I was better at hockey than I was at baseball. The whole time I played. I mean, I was always pretty advanced for baseball, I guess, in the Canadian area. But I mean, I was a top hockey player in really the province, or up there. So that definitely was, like I said, like the main focus of my attention was hockey. I was known probably more as a hockey player around town. But yeah, I was good. I was pretty good, but I fell in love with baseball a little more, and that's the route I decided to take.
Okay, so that's ultimately why you stopped playing then, was you just wanted to go towards baseball more?
Yeah, I just slowly was losing the love for hockey, and gained it for baseball. It was a lot in Canada. They really push you, and there's a lot of practice 7 days a week. So at a young age, start at 5 years old, and then they call it rep hockey, starts when you're 8 or 9, and that's 7 days a week. So there's not much stopping.
Do you feel like because of that experience, you can see it, right? You didn't grow up in a heavy baseball environment, which seems weird given that your family,
Right.
is who it is. But because of that, can you see it in like people here now in Jersey, or that are heavily into the travel and they're playing baseball year round? Can you kind of get that sense when like younger guys are sort of feeling that burnout?
Yeah, definitely. I really think that's a huge focus that a lot of parents and even kids lose sight of. I even hear fellow like counterparts, kids my age, that push like, you got to work hard and some of the stuff isn't going to be fun or whatever. But I mean, I take a lot of advice from, my family members and what I have and what I can take. But I think it's all about fun, really. I mean, baseball is an awesome game, and all sports, playing sports is awesome. So I think just taking the fun out of the game, and a lot of kids really lose the fun when it becomes a job. I mean, baseball should never be a job. Even if I, hopefully make it to the big leagues, that's the end goal. But even if I were to make it there, it wouldn't become a job because it's a kid's game. And at the end of the day, the first responders and the people fighting for our country, those are the people that really have the jobs, the construction workers, and they're up at 3 a.m, 4 a.m. Those are the people with the jobs, not strolling into the baseball stadium, playing in front of thousands and thousands of people cheering your name. That's not much of a job to me. So I really think that just having fun with the game and not taking it too serious up until, a certain age. Obviously, you got more serious, but yeah, just having fun with the game is important to me. And some kids do lose sight of that, and parents.
And not only that, but the fact that you didn't specialize in one sport. Well, if you did, it wasn't baseball, but you didn't specialize in baseball at an early age. You played multiple sports. You feel that makes you a better baseball player now, the fact that you kind of had that wider background?
Yeah, I'm sure it did. I'm sure it made my athleticism a lot better. Especially, I played also basketball, and I took basketball a little more serious as I was losing the interest in hockey. I took basketball more serious. So, 8th grade and freshman year, I was playing basketball a lot. So even that kind of made me not focus solely on baseball too. Up until I moved here, sophomore year was the first year I only played baseball. So, yeah, that's basically.
Definitely interesting that, because you see so many pitchers burn out in Little League or have arm problems in Little League, and it's really probably nothing more than they're throwing more than they should at a young age, right? I mean, that was another thing you didn't really have. I mean, you got a pretty fresh arm when it comes to baseball wise compared to a lot of these guys. Do you think that's been helpful now too, in the fact that you've got such a high ceiling too?
Yeah, I'm sure that was helpful for me, but I really think it was more so just like putting the ball down and just forgetting about the sport and doing another sport, especially at a young age. Like, it's not that important to do, in my opinion, to be 10 years old, 11 years old. It's not that important to be, doing full-time training or not putting the ball down, or the kids that are doing tournaments in December and you're throwing a ball, it just doesn't resonate to me. You got to do other things, be a kid, have different priorities, have different things that you go to, hang out with friends. So I definitely think putting the ball down was big for me. And just managing a workload. A lot of parents won't know. I'm lucky enough to have a dad who played pro ball, so he knows when I should put the ball down or when I should, throw, or how long I should get for long toss. But some kids don't have that, so it's tough. It's definitely tough on kids, but they just gotta, you gotta gauge information. We have our phones, and all these kids have their phones now. Even I'm on YouTube all the time trying to get better or inform myself on certain topics. So that's what kids can definitely do. But yeah, putting the ball down, I'm rambling, but putting the ball down was definitely good for me.
So you could have had it easier when you came back to New Jersey came to New Jersey for the first time, right? You could have gone to a different school. You could have gone to a school that doesn't have your uncle's name all over the outfield fence.
Yeah.
Or the family history, obviously, with everybody from your Uncle John all the way to I guess Mark is the oldest of that or youngest of that generation, right?
Al was the last one with the
Okay. Could have had it easier, and maybe not baseball, but baseball wise, because Tom's River is obviously pretty awesome too.
Right.
What made you want to come back to Central?
Really, this is cliche, but everything, just the culture. I wanted to win with that kind of lighter, kind of lighter name to the program. And Central, I'm happy with what I picked, but before it was kind of going into either Toms River South or Central. And I picked Central because I thought it would kind of be an easier process getting into the States and getting into the school just with that baseball program and with the name, just getting used to living in New Jersey.
Mhm.
But definitely winning was really important to me. I wanted to win. Me and my dad talked about it. I remember we were in Illinois because we drove across the continent to get here. We fly. Yeah. So I remembered me and my dad the whole way that obviously that's the main topic of the drive. You're driving 10 hours, you got to talk about something.
Yeah.
So we just talked about how awesome it would be to win a state championship with Central and all the other stuff, maybe be a draft prospect or whatever. So now sometimes I just kind of sit back and I realize like, wow, it's my senior year. The stuff that I dreamt about when I was 8, 9, 10 years old, and then up to moving across here. And then now it's really happening. Me and also my teammates and my coaches have put themselves in a position to be a good team this year and hopefully win a lot of games. So that's really what was mostly important to me on the baseball side was winning and bringing a state title back to Central.
But I guess it's kind of cool too to be like I said, Uncle Al's name is all over is all over the field now. That stuff's pretty cool too to be able to play there, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know how many high school kids can say
Right.
they play on their last name's field and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it comes with trash talk and whatever, but I like it and
Yeah.
definitely important to me.
Trash talking never hurt you either, I don't think.
No, that's a part of the game, I guess.
And not only of course pitching well there, but now that we've seen you hitting some absolute bombs there, which we know, I guess we know deep down that's what really gets you excited about. Tell us about that ball that you hit. I guess it was against Toms River that hit the top of that building in left field.
Yeah, that was one of what was that, the 4th game of the year, I think. It was
early.
Yeah, it was to open up the series against South. It was a 2-2 game in the bottom of the 6th, and I got it. I caught it, and
you didn't miss any of that. Yeah,
I looked at it a little bit, but yeah, that was awesome hit. I'm just happy, we got the win, and that's really what was important.
No, hitting the 400-foot bomb is what's important.
Maybe a little bit,
but. That thought of going down to play in a major conference and seeing guys throwing in the 90s every day isn't really as appealing, I guess, right?
It didn't strike my interest. I know where I belong.
For sure.
I faced this is a shout out to Zach Crossfelt, the lefty at Jackson Memorial. I faced him. That gave me like I don't want to do this. He's a stud. So,
that's when you realize you're a pitcher.
Yeah, I realized pitcher he was pumping it. So maybe hopefully I'll get him this year. I'll close my eyes and run into one or something like that.
It might be your best shot of hitting him too. He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's a stud.
We did talk a few minutes ago about putting the ball down, not necessarily playing year round, but I would say that growing up in the household that you did and the family members that you had, you've had access to such incredible baseball knowledge, obviously, of like literally every part of the game, starting with your dad being a beast at Oklahoma State and then playing pro ball up to AA and now as your pitching coach, right, at Central, to obviously Al, Mark, Jack, Mark Jr. What have you enjoyed most of as far as learning from them, and what's kind of the biggest thing that you've learned from them that's helped you out?
Yeah, I think my favorite part would probably just be learning about the stories, or not learning, listening to the stories.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really cool just to listen to those stories about them talking about, legends in the big leagues, or stories of, pitching in big league stadiums or their opening day. But I think the biggest thing that I really have the edge on with other kids, or I should say all kids that have, pro dads or pro family members, is that the mentality, because it really is a different mentality when you go from college to pro or high school to pro. That's when it kicks in and you're facing the best guys in the nation every day. So I think the mentality is really what's important to me, and what I learn most, because I have different mentalities as well. Like Mark Jr. has probably a little bit of a different mentality than my Uncle Al did, or they all have different mentalities, and I can kind of take all of theirs and really form it into and try to become my own pitcher. But the biggest thing I'd say I learned most from is just the mentality and how they go about their day and how they get to work.
Yeah, it's interesting because you're right. They are different. Certainly they had different stuff, and it is kind of neat, I guess, to be in a position where you, like I said, any situation that comes up, you got somebody you can go to.
Right.
And then also sort of like pick and choose what kind of fits you the best too.
Yeah. It's special. I'm blessed. I thank God every day that I was born into this family, especially as a baseball player. So it's sometimes it's even challenging you have so much information there, you have so, and sometimes maybe I think I'm not doing enough, or I'm not getting enough, but just got to step back and reevaluate things.
How's the journey going individually the last few weeks? Are you what stage are we in now to get ready for the season?
Yeah, so I put the ball down I had a lot of innings this year, so I put the ball down for like an extended time. What was it, probably 6 weeks. So last week I started back up throwing, so got into that. Still hitting the weight rooms pretty hard, and I feel great, feel really good, and I'm at a good spot with my body. So I'm excited for this year.
Now, last year, right? Awesome season, county championship, heartbreak end of the season, right, in states. It was Colts Neck that knocked you out, and it was
Ocean City.
Ocean City, right? That's right. I guess, was it the sectional final?
The semis of the sectional.
Semis, okay. But it was like it was a 3-2 or 1-run game or something like that.
Yeah, it was we lost in the 11th inning. And then what's that?
So you lose in extras to the team that ends up winning states.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, it was like, you're right there, that it's, you say, everybody can say, oh, I want to win states my senior year, but it's a realistic thing.
Yeah, definitely.
How do we take last year's finish and push it towards that like extra motivation for this year?
I think all the kids really just realized that we were a team, that we were a ball club. Like going into it, so we lost our COVID year. The year before that, I think they went 3-19, I believe the record was. I think I wasn't here, but I believe it was 3-19, and then we lost our year to COVID. And then the next year was just kind of like, well, we think we have a good team, but see what happens. And we're not a team like Ocean City that had 4 Division I pitchers. We didn't have any commits. We had me. That was really the only commit. But we have a lot of guys on our team that are just blue collar kids from Bayville, and we're not really scared. We get right in the box and we go to work, and we're loud and we keep the energy. And I think probably over half our wins, over 10 at least, were comeback wins late in the innings. So we were always coming back, always battling. And then translating that into this year, now it's became kind of like, okay, this is what we want to do. We want to win a state ring. We want to be one of the best teams in the state. And we all really feel like we can do it. We only lost 2 guys in our lineup. And we lost two senior pitchers. So we lost 2 senior pitchers and 2 hitters. And then we're bringing everybody back with experience. So we should be a good team. We're going to be a tough team, but, we can't get too ahead of ourselves. We just got to focus second and win that game.
I guess the biggest difference right now is knowing you can do it rather than hoping you can do it.
Yeah, it's definitely we're gonna have to stay on it, but I think we'll do a good job. Last
Yeah,
year was a bit more we were trying to show that we were good, and you look
right.
at the Shore Sports top 10 and we wanted to be on there. And then we know we're trying to move up. And this year it's like, well, shoot, we want to be number one. So it'll be a lot easier to come in games and take games off and take games lightly, but we just got to focus on going 1-0 game.
Yeah. You mentioned something just then that struck me in watching those home run clips and stuff is that loud and energy. And every clip that I've seen, whether it's you hitting the ball 400 feet or striking someone out, or you know Dominic coming up with the big hit in the OCT final to keep that game going and you eventually win.
Yeah.
Like the energy and the excitement and the craziness and the volume is always there.
Yeah, it's awesome. I can't. That's the reason I can't wait. That's what my main focus on high school, because our team and our school really does a great job at focusing on every sport. Like our football, we had a great pit. Basketball will have a good pit. Translated into baseball, we're gonna have a student section. Most high school can't say they have people coming to the games. And obviously, we don't have a ton. It's still baseball and it's after school, but we have students coming out to the games. And in the OCT championship, we had like 300 kids there. We filled up a whole row on that left field.
So you guys, they all stormed the field after the win,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, storm the field, but the energy is always high. We have, after we hit a home run, we were all hanging out one day before the season. This is actually a funny story, and I was sitting in somebody's basement. I can't remember who, and there was a huge Bible, like it was huge. It was a massive Bible, like huge, and I said, I'm gonna grab it. I'm gonna bring it to the team, like as a joke one day as practice, and I brought it to the team or whatever. And it translated into our home run celebration. So we just called it the Bible hop. And we're a public school, don't get me wrong. So I don't know how many kids are religious on our team, but it was the Bible hop. And after we hit a home run, there's videos of it. I could probably get one, send it to you. And we'd run in either to the dugout or outside the dugout. And you throw the Bible to whoever hit the home run, and they hold it up and everybody just jumps up in the air. And that kind of just tells like a story. Like our team, we didn't care about whoever was looking at us or what they thought of us. We were just having fun. And a lot of the kids, like when we lost to Ocean City and we're on the bus, we just talked about really how special our team was and how close we were. And I think that's just part of who we are and part of all of our teammates. There wasn't one quiet kid or there wasn't one loud kid. Everybody just talked to each other. We're all brothers at the end of the day.
Yeah, it sounds like a true team, and then that makes you play. Probably explains all the comeback wins too.
Yeah, definitely.
So we'll finish with this then. From Florida to Canada to Bayville. What do you like most about being in Jersey now?
Just the sports atmosphere. I love it. It's what's special to me. Obviously, you have the Friday night lights or the basketball games where everybody's there. Just the support system in the sports programs, especially at our school, is just awesome. I mean, our school also does a great job. Our superintendent, Tommy Parlapanides, and our athletic director, John Scran, they do an awesome job and they support us a lot. And all the teachers and administrators and kids, we really are close and we're a family. And we support every program. So that's what's really important to me. And what I love most is just being excited to wake up and go to school and excited to, hopefully win a state championship in baseball.
Yes, sir. Let's hope. Let's have a great year, a great off season. Certainly see how much better we did without the technical difficulties this time.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Cam Leiter, our guest here on Jersey Baseball Show, our Generation Next 2.0. He is headed down to Central Florida, but certainly not until we get one more good year at Central Regional.
Sir.
Best of luck. We'll definitely see you out at the field this year, and always appreciate the time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. That's Cam Leiter. We'll see you next time on the Jersey Baseball Show, and hope to see you around for our next Generation Next episode.